He had come to her town, Magdala. He came with purpose and authority. He came with deliverance and redemption. He came for her. She had been outcast and rejected for as long as she could remember, left alone to wallow in her own darkness and agony. Agony. She suffered 7 different kinds of agony, separately and simultaneously, perpetual agony. She was plagued by 7. The 7. 7 demonic spirits permeated her being. Lust, envy, pride, greed, gluttony, sloth, wrath, all tearing at her soul, destroying her spirit. She could find no rest, no peace, and agony cried out from within her. The 7 consumed her being. They propelled her actions and controlled her cursed body. Her skin crawled and itched and flaked. Open sores oozed. Her body was beaten bloody and bruised from the violent writhing within. Thin wisps of wet hair remained matted together, eyes covered over, white as the full moon. Her tongue, plastered to the roof of her mouth, resulted in violent utterings of distress and contempt. Muscles, tendons, and ligaments reeked of distortion. Broken bones, broken soul. Her garments were torn to slivers of non-existence. The most putrid of smells filled the air around her, a rancid cloud of misery, disease, rotting flesh, destruction. She had tried to hide herself from him. She had heard of him and his works. He could not know the horror that dwelled within her. But despite her efforts to hide, she was drawn to him, and he to her. In his presence, the 7 cried out against him. They cried and raged within her, violent utterings of distress and contempt. And her body convulsed with agony. Then he spoke. Mary. He called her by name. She had not heard her name uttered by another in what seemed like an eternity. Her isolation and rejection from society had seen to that. But then he spoke. Mary, he said, be free. A lifetime of agony was now being transformed. His words pierced her soul. He commanded light to shine through her darkness. At his word, the 7 raged within her, and one by one they were driven out. Sloth, wrath, gluttony, greed, pride, envy, lust, all. Delivered from darkness, she was free. She was healed. Restoration flooded her body, repairing years of demon-inflicted trauma. Inch by inch, bones, tendons, and ligaments realigned. Sores and bruises disappeared. Her hair flowed freely. Her moon-white eyes were open, and she turned to gaze on the face of her Redeemer. Her tongue, which had not loosed a conceivable word in years, was freed, and she spoke. My Lord. And joy cried out from within her.